What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Matthew Kaufman. Today what I want to talk about is probably one of the most important things when it comes to securing a property. So that thing would be credit. What I'm going to talk about in this video is going to be 8 different things, what it takes to improve your credit and get to the point where your credit can allow you to actually get a loan from the bank. The first step toward a good credit score is simply just understanding the basics about reporting agencies and credit scores. Simply what you got to do is brush up on the knowledge regarding credit. And I know there's a lot of things thrown around, like what it takes to improve your credit score and what it takes to keep your credit score as good as it may be. Just a quick background on when it came to me buying the first property that I own and regarding the credit. What you're most likely going to have to do when you're buying a property is go to a mortgage broker, and they're pretty much going to pre-approve you for a specific amount as to what you potentially could get a loan for when it comes time to actually buy. They're going to take a lot of different things into account. They're going to take your employment, the amount that you make every single year. They're generally going to ask for at least 2 years of W-2 statements, and if you're a self-employed person, then obviously that's going to be a whole nother ballgame. When it came to my credit score, when it came to buying the property, I wasn't really sure as to what my credit score was, but I knew for a fact it was very good. Simply, when I went into the mortgage broker, I spoke to him, and he was asking me a couple different questions about, how often you're making your payments, how many credit cards do you have a credit card, do you have any other previous loans. What I had up to that point when I spoke to him was a credit card that I probably had since I was around 18. Along with that, what I did was when I bought a car was I got a $1,000 loan, simply not because I had to, but because of what I knew it was going to do was going to increase my credit score, because I took a $1,000 loan. Every single month I had a specific payment for, I think it was a year-long loan. And I made that payment on time, paid it in full for each individual payment amount, and within the year I'd paid it off. And what that did was just go deeper into increasing my credit. Because what I knew is I knew that I wanted to buy a property, but it's just a matter of time of when and where. And now that I just mentioned that, number 2 is going to be never missing a payment. For the majority of people, the bulk of their credit history is going to be based on payment history. So even if you're only making the minimum payment, always make that minimum payment on time. On the other side, if you're able to financially, if you're able to afford paying off your credit card in full every single month, this is one thing I've been doing since I had my own credit card, since I got my own credit card. Every single month, pay it off in full. And what that does, because I want to pay it off in full, it kind of forces me to not just buy everything I can, because I know at the end of the month I'm gonna, get my credit report, not my credit report, get my credit statement, and it's going to say a specific amount. This past month, I think it was around $500 for the entire month, and that includes the cost of gas for my car, that includes food, and just any various things that you might spend money on throughout the month. Pretty much everything I buy, I put it on my credit card, because the credit card that I have is a Fidelity. It's 2% cash back. I know a lot of people will get the air miles and, all these other various things that go along with the credit, but I don't travel that often, so I didn't really see the point. So for me, simply them just putting money back into my account was ideal. So like I was just saying, always pay it off on time. If you have any past due accounts, always pay the one that's most past due. And then from there, just start gradually catching up on all your payments. One thing I read a long time ago regarding credit cards and just debt and all these other things was try not to use more than 30 to 40% of your available credit. The credit card that I currently have, I think my limit is around 8,500. And once again, the higher your credit score is going to be, the higher your potential. Sorry, I just got a text. Okay. So, like I was just saying, $8,500 is what my current credit card amount, max that I can go on it. Like I said, I spend on average probably between $400 and $700 depending on the month, each month. There's something called a credit utilization number, and what that pretty much means is how much you're spending in relation to how much you actually have available. And nothing says you can't call up your credit card company and simply just ask for a credit increase. Whether they give it to you or not is a whole different story, but you can always ask. And what this could potentially do is increase your debt to credit ratio without even having to pay down any outstanding debts otherwise. One little trick that you can actually do is transferring debt to a personal loan. So most often, the interest rate on a credit card is often going to be higher than it would be on a personal loan. And so consolidating that interest debt into a single personal loan will boost your credit card history, your score, and save you money in the long run. This next one might seem kind of counterintuitive, but don't close accounts. Canceling credit cards can actually have a negative effect on your debt to credit ratio as well as your credit history. And those are actually 2 of the 5 things that actually go into what makes up your credit history. So it's very important. Don't close accounts. Next one is going to be get credit to improve your credit. If your credit is severely low, it's to the point where it's too low to qualify for a normal credit card, what you can actually do is sign up for a secured credit card. Secured credit card is kind of similar to a gift card in a way. Pretty much what you do is you put down a deposit, and that essentially acts as your credit limit in a way. And what's going to be really important is that you make sure that that secured credit card reports to all the credit bureaus, simply just to maximize its positive impact on that score. One of probably the easiest things you can do, which will take you a matter of minutes to long-term improve your credit history and your score, is going to be simply just setting up automatic payments on all your bills. And that can include your electric, your gas, your internet, your cable, if you have a car payment or a house payment. And I understand that everybody has their own lives and we're all very busy doing whatever it is, but by setting up these payments, regardless of how busy you are, whenever you set that payment for, it's always going to come out on the same day, same time, and so that payment's always going to happen, so you're not going to miss anything if you forget. Another one, and probably the last one I'll talk about, is going to be, if we have a credit card, you know there's a small little number on there that gives you a month and a year. That month and year is your expiration date on that card, which means you have to know when that's coming. So what you can do is update your credit cards knowing that the expiration date is coming. It's a super simple fix. You just have to be aware of it. Once again, just to quickly run through them all, number 1 through 8. Number 1, knowledge. Understand what credit is, how it works, and how you can benefit from it. Number 2, never miss a payment. Always pay it on time. Number 3, try not to use more than 30 to 40% of that available credit that you do have. Number 4, very simple. Just call or email or whatever you got to do. Ask for a credit increase. All they can do is say no, right? You might as well ask. Number 5, transfer debt to a personal loan. What this can do is boost your credit history and in the long term probably save you money too. Number 6, don't close accounts. Even if you have a card that you don't use, just cut it up and throw it out. The account's still going to be available, but that means you're not going to damage your credit history by just calling them up and saying, hey, I'm closing this account, because that will damage credit history. Number 7, get credit to improve credit. For example, that's going to be going back to applying for a secured credit card. And the last one, number 8, probably the easiest one that you can do, is set up automatic payments for your bills. Lastly, what I just want to say is living in the United States and being in a first world country, we love materialistic things. You know, we love the cars and the houses and the clothes, and just we love stuff. And the more we buy, the more potential we're going to go into debt, right? Not everybody has all this money to just throw around and buy whatever they want. Trust me, if I was Drake or Cardi B making all this money, sure, I might consider spending a lot more money, but that's not the case. And my guess for you, if you're watching, it might not be the case for you either. So be mindful of what you're spending. You don't have to go out to eat every single day. You don't need a new pair of shoes every single month or a new outfit every single week. In the end, it's just a matter of being informed. I think financial literacy is one of the most underrated things that's taught in this country, or not taught. For me, I was lucky enough to have parents who stressed, finances and investing and realizing you don't want to work for your entire life. So you might as well start planning now. There was somebody I was speaking to recently, and I'm probably just going off on a tangent at this point, but somebody I was speaking to recently, and they're between probably 60 and 65. And we started talking about finances and investing and all this stuff. And this person was telling me that they were, once again, they're, let's say 63 years old. They had not invested $1 into the stock market or anything like this in their entire life. And that scared the hell out of me for them, because knowing what I know, and once again, I'm no professional, but I realize the biggest advantage that I have right now is time. Because by the time I'm 65 years old, let's say, the amount of money that's going to have accrued and multiplied is going to be substantial. It's going to help me a lot. And I think that's one thing we need to start teaching people in this country more, especially people my age. And I think it's becoming more popular, but at the same time, I think it needs to be taught more, especially in school for one thing. Don't get me started on that. But we need to understand, once again, how much we're spending, and more importantly, why we're spending it. So I'm going to stop there. If you guys enjoyed this, if you found it beneficial, informational, what I want you to do is subscribe, leave me a comment as to if this is all stuff that you were already aware of, or if these are things that you are now aware of because I just told you. So please comment below anything you like regarding to that, of course. Please subscribe, give it a like if you enjoyed it, and I will talk to you guys soon. Once again, my name is Matthew Kaufman. Take care.